Stage 1.
Elephant!
Here's our rough pattern. We're going to make a beautiful pattern from this and begin the cutting.
I got an email from my good friend Jeannette saying that she was starting a project called The Elephant in the Room.
I'm Jeannette Johnson-Licon, and I am the coordinator for the Violence Intervention and Prevention Project at DePauw University.
And I immediately emailed her back and said, that's so crazy. I had a dream 2 nights ago or something that I wanted to make an elephant on a cart that we could just roll around campus. And then Jeannette said, we should do that.
Our office is responsible for primary prevention of sexualized violence, so we create educational campaigns, poster series, and in some cases, art.
Well, an educational campaign such as the Elephant in the Room helps our students understand what is a national problem is also a DePauw problem. It's something on our campus that needs to be addressed, and it's something that we can actually affect change on.
We need to make sure that our students feel safe reporting incidents of sexual violence, but also that they support one another if they have a friend who has experienced that trauma, or if they can intervene in some way.
My name is Halffield, and I'm a sophomore. I'm also one of the co-presidents for Code Teal. Code Teal is an organization on campus that works to prevent sexual assault and sexual violence by educating students on how you can be an active bystander.
With the support of Code Teal, I applied for this grant from MESA, Multicultural Efforts to End Sexual Assault from Purdue University. They were very, very generous with us, and also brave, because this is not a very traditional project at all.
Code Teal is always looking for more opportunities for us to spread our message, and I feel like through the work of the amazing sculptors who actually made the elephant, and with JJL and other people's help in trying to get this campaign going, it's really given us another avenue in order to start conversations with people who may not be as willing or may not know how to talk about sexual violence effectively.
The process itself has been really exciting because I think of it as kind of a collaboration that doesn't normally happen, where two people really come with an open heart, I suppose, to a process. And all of the stages along the way, we never actually worked together, really. So Jeannette would do part of the work at night, and I'd come and do it in the day. So the evolution of the project, I thought, was one of the more unique kind of collaborations I've done. And then we pulled a student in, and other students were watching it happen in a day and a night. And got a lot of people curious, I think, about what this thing was going to be.
My name's Taylor Shellman. I'm one of the work study students here in the sculpture studio in Peeler. So first, we got huge sheets of plexiglass, and then from that we kind of put on the paper with the shape that we wanted to cut out. So the little shape like this was labeled a certain number so we'd know where it would go to put together. And the actual elephant itself was all one piece, and so we would take the sheet that had been marked out with what pieces were cut out, and they're all fit together, and then I would cut the piece out, and then from that I would sand it. The sanding was a very tedious process with a lot of debris, and at the end I would be covered in white flakes of plexiglass, but it was kind of rewarding to take something that was rough around the edges and refine it to this smooth, silky, glass-like form. About total with the project, I put about 20 hours in. Forming the actual elephant was Jeannette and Lori. Jerry built the box, and he kind of built this from scratch.
Complication-wise, it was quite a challenge. You know, cutting a lot of plexiglass, a lot of labor, a lot of cleaning and refitting. The plexiglass is relatively heavy, and I must have refit that elephant on there 10, 15 times and carrying it like a bag of concrete each time.
Plexiglass is a very difficult media to work with. But the best part for me, by far, was flame edging. That was totally badass. So I spent a lot of time with a butane torch, softening all the edges of this piece, and as you can see, there are a lot of edges.
Finally, of course, Jerry Bates, who's fabulous, came in to make the all the functioning parts work and make the cart viable for it.
Working with plexiglass and wood and a cabinet and things that move and doors that open, it was an interesting journey.
As strange as it might seem that a piece of art could open a dialogue and encourage that kind of investigation, even if we don't get it exactly right the first time, I think of this as like a peace offering, like a totem or a piece that can come into a place, and because it's so beautiful, right? Because it's just this lovely thing, because it makes clear reference to the idea of an elephant in the room, the thing we're afraid to talk about. I feel like it's an invitation or an opportunity to engage in those kind of discussions.
I've seen people come in. I have a friend that's a sculpture teacher, and he was immediately drawn to it, and he's seen 1,000 sculptures.
I know a lot of people that I've shown it to have been like, that's so cool, like, I wish I could make that, I wish I could have that in my house, because you don't see it now, but the light display is spectacular, and I think that it's a big attention drawer, and people are going to ask, well, what is that for? And I think it's going to definitely help with trying to get rid of this problem.
DePauw has a history of art pieces sparking interest and dialogue, and I think the elephant in the room can do just that.
On one hand, it's an aesthetically pleasing piece. I think it's beautiful, but it also asks us to think critically about a very ugly topic.
I love the juxtaposition of having a beautiful piece of art that I think is going to draw the attention of a lot of people who may or may not know initially what it's about or what it represents.
Sexual violence is a challenge for us to talk about. So being able to actually have something that symbolizes the elephant in the room, those things that are difficult to talk about, helps us to center our conversation around sexual violence and sexual prevention and awareness.
I noticed when we've had it in separate places, such as in the hub or in other areas of the school, that people kind of just stop and stare at it.
The elephant in the room, I thought it was something that could bring attention to that, and I thought it was a great idea. Plus, it's green, it looks transparent, but it's big and it's in the way.
There's actually been a few people who have almost run into it.
There's the elephant in the room. Man, that turned out really well.
I think, as a prop, this is a pretty good one.
I think art always is a medium to be able to start conversation, and in particular, this conversation.
What someone might think of as beautiful or aesthetically pleasing can have a message behind it that can reach people in a different way than a speaker or a film or some other kind of education or prevention program.
Who's not going to want their photo taken with it? Seeing this carted around through campus and having people simply ask, what's this about? So that even if they post a selfie with the piece, right, they have to give a little bit of a description about why this elephant even exists. So I think that's pretty impactful.
I love sculpture. I have a very strong passion for that. So this gave me one opportunity to work material I've never worked with. So I enjoyed that. But it supported a very important topic that needs more light, and to be able to put my name on that and say that I helped with, broadening the horizon of the campus and taking action, something I'm proud of and I enjoy.
And hopefully Code Teal will be able to help spread our message of how we can be active bystanders and start the conversation about sexual violence on our campus through an elephant in the room.